What's up, everybody? I am back. My name is Dion. This is Di Maria Reacts. Y'all, there's we got to talk about some things, okay? I tell you, I cannot get my little 8 and 10-year-old nieces off to school, walk my dog, and put my makeup on fast enough before all kinds of stuff is jumping off in this crazy world. Wait a minute. These glasses got all kinds of fingerprints. Hold on, everybody. Watch this.
Diddy Combs has been denied bail in connection with the sexual abuse and sex trafficking charges he faces. And as Les Trent reports, the music mogul who once traveled by private jet to all those mansions is now in a jail that is notorious for its bad living conditions.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs spent his first night behind bars inside a facility that is being called hell on earth. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn is notorious for its appalling living conditions and rampant violence. How bad is it inside this federal lockup? There have been 2 murders, 4 suicides, and numerous stabbings and lockdowns in recent years. It's so out of control inside that 4 federal judges are reportedly refusing to send any more prisoners here. Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, spent a harrowing year in federal custody. He says for someone used to a life of luxury like Diddy, prison life is a severe shock.
You have a desk, you have a plastic chair, you have your bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and you also have a locker. So you basically have 3 feet by 5 feet to move around. So you have a basic 15 square feet. It is a horrible, horrible place.
Diddy's lawyers were so eager to keep him out of jail, they offered his palatial $48 million home in Miami Beach and his private jets as bail.
It's always a shock when you hear about the inhumane conditions of these jails. And it takes somebody high profile like this in order for that to be put on blast. Even though people, they get caught up, they've committed crimes, they've hurt people, injured people, unalived people, there should be a basic level, and I don't even know what they're getting ready to say, but already I'm like, oh my Lord. So we already know that with what Diddy has been accustomed, how he's been accustomed to living. Oh, he's going through some major culture shock, some major humbling down. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know if he will humble down that quick. But you can just about believe. See, he played so tough for so long to so many people. Oh, he's getting ready to experience the other side of it. He's getting ready to know what he's inflicted on others, because I personally believe it's true. It's been in the African American community, especially people like in my age group. Let's see, what am I? Am I Gen Z? Y'all, I can't ever keep it together. I think I'm Generation Z. So at the time that I'm looking it up real quick. Gen Z. Wait, what is this? Generations at a glance. No. I'm not Gen Z. X. I gotta make myself remember that. Okay, I'll make myself remember it by Malcolm X, even though he was ahead of me. I'm Generation X. So I'm that generation that I listened to the music he was popular for back in the days, as far as putting stars out there, as far as how they used to joke about, P. Diddy always, he the producer, he always in his own videos trying to sing and dance. But on the low low, most people believe that P. Diddy was off into some shady stuff, some dark stuff. So we may not be shocked that it finally caught up with him. We're not shocked about the stuff that he did, because we've been hearing it for years. We might be shocked at The fact that he finally getting ready to maybe pay for the stuff that he's done to people. So I speak about it like, yeah, we knew this was gonna happen eventually. Because the fact of the matter is, you are sowing seeds, and the things that you do to others, some people call that karma. The Bible calls it the law of sowing and reaping. Okay, he has sown many seeds of wickedness, and he is getting ready to reap some of this stuff back. Now, I don't know why in the world they convinced him to go ahead and, if I was him, well, I could never be him because I just, no, that's some wickedness. I can't, I'm gonna say I'm not capable of. But I would have ran. I would have ran. America would have never seen me again. With all the money that he's got, that you would go and put your hands, I mean, put yourself in the hands of law enforcement. Something must be going on behind the scenes. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Some maybe 6 months ago they raided his house or whatnot. Maybe he thought that maybe this slipped up on him. I don't know if somebody was saying maybe he had a falling out with some big time folks in the background, and he threatened to tell on them or something because he got dirt on a whole lot of people, famous people, not just celebrities, but politicians, all them folks that's into all this filthy, nasty, all these freak out sessions and everything. He's got dirt on a lot of folks. And so, I mean, I don't know what finally brought this to the forefront. I know Cassie's testimony and the fact that she won her lawsuit had something to do with sparking it off. But why the timing is now, I don't know. Kilo and Trader. I don't know what that means. VIA, ECF. The Honorable Andrew L. Carter. So that's the judge on the case. United States District Judge, Southern District of New York, blah, 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 address. Okay, dear Judge Carter, Mr. Sean Combs, through his counsel, submits this letter in lieu of a formal motion for Mr. Combs' release from custody on the proposed bail package below. See, you know you got money when you can offer a bail package before somebody even asks you for one. As set forth below, the defendant's updated bail package, updated even from yesterday's filing, addresses both risk of flight and danger to the community, and reasonably ensures the defendant's return to court. This letter will walk the court through a series of actions taken by Mr. Combs over the past 6 months that we view as unprecedented and that prove that he is not a risk of flight or a danger to anyone in the community. He's not a danger to anyone in the community. He's straight threatening witnesses, potential witnesses, paying folks off, has beaten women to a pulp. He's a complete coward. So he bought up in that jail, flipping out. For real, for real. He is not a risk of flight or a danger to anyone in the community. These actions show that Mr. Combs is eminently trustworthy. Somehow, when I hear the words eminently trustworthy, Diddy Combs ain't the person I think of. That's not who I think of. The actions show that Mr. Combs is eminently trustworthy, that he is demonstrably committed to showing his innocence in court in the context of this case, and that he should be released on the conditions proposed in order to do so. Mr. Combs flew to New York on September 5th, 2024 to surrender. The first thing the court should know is that when it became apparent to his counsel that Mr. Combs would at some point soon be formally charged, he did something extraordinary. He left his home in Miami and traveled to New York to surrender. We told the prosecutors that he was in the government. We told the prosecutors he was in New York to surrender. Okay, so we told the prosecutors he was in New York to surrender. We asked them for a time for the surrender. They never got back to us. The government withheld this information solely so they could arrest Mr. Combs and not allow him to surrender. Which because they want to do the perp walk, which he flew to New York to do. Instead, the government effected, and then I can't read the rest of the document from here.
They are even offering to restrict female visitors to his home.
Now, how is that okay, I'm trying to think. How is that beneficial? That's beneficial in the sense that, okay, if I'm being accused of hurting females, then restricting female vision, I don't know. Let's see. Let me take it back just a smidge, y'all.
Except for his mother, daughters, and the mothers of his children if he is released. They told the judge the jail he was being sent to is dreadful, dirty, inhuman, and an...
Now, you know he walking up in here going, ew, this is, he getting the shock of his mind right now.
Ongoing tragedy.
How's your dad doing? How's your dad doing?
Family members appeared somber as they arrived at federal court in Manhattan today in another attempt to get out on bail. The judge cited Diddy's history of violent temper and potential intimidation of witnesses as reasons for keeping him behind bars.
That's Cassie. That's the one that came forth and filed the lawsuit, and he settled it in less than 24 hours, which is unheard of. I guess he thought, let me settle this so she can go on and scoot on away. But no, it didn't pan out that way. Okay, let me see. Let me just check something. Here goes TMZ. All right, y'all, let's check out this one.
I got a call from one of our producers, and apologies to the students that I bailed, but we broke a story that Diddy got arrested last night.
Arrested last night in New York City by the feds.
And I got to tell you, Charles, I have never read 14 pages that contained so much shocking information and allegations. Diddy, among other things, he has been accused of sex trafficking, engaging in a conspiracy to foster prostitution, racketeering, kidnapping, narcotics offenses, arson, bribery. That is the beginning.
And the feds lay this all out. That they say that basically his organization, his company, which they refer to as the Combs Enterprise, which certainly sounds more like a
mob,
outfit, that it existed mainly to fuel his desires, often his sexual desires. And they lay out in detail a lot of those sexual desires in this indictment.
So one of the centerpieces, and we've talked about this before, are these freak-off parties.
Well, besides the fact that I'm a very sensitive person, okay? I do not like to see human suffering, period. It is heartbreaking to me. Even to somebody that deserves it. But in this instance, Puff Daddy looks very much like a close family member of mine. So sometimes I have to shake myself and clutch my pearls and realize that this is not my loved one. Let's keep going.
Those sexual desires in this indictment.
So one of his
sexual desires, and they
the beginning.
And the feds lay this all out. That they say that basically his organization, his company, which they refer to as the Combs Enterprise, which certainly sounds more like a
mob,
outfit, that it existed mainly to fuel his desires, often his sexual desires. And they lay out in detail a lot of those sexual desires in this indictment.
So one of the centerpieces, and we've talked about this before, are these freak-off parties that Diddy hosted. And, you know, we all knew...
That's the allegation. And remember, Cassie that first came to light in Cassie's lawsuit, where she talked about these freak-off parties that he would have at hotels in, she said, in Atlanta, Miami, LA, and New York.
And they were essentially orgies. But the U.S.
Right,
attorney
essentially.
for the Southern District of New York, who filed this, laid this out at a press conference and specifically addressed the freak-offs.
The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time.
Days at a time. You know, this information, and I know it's part of the process where they publicly come out, because the public has a right to know, where they publicly come out with whatever the person is up against because of what they did, what they allegedly did. But it is so disturbing to hear some of this. Oh my gosh.
Involved multiple commercial sex workers and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB.
This man said ketamine. Now, I thought ketamine was that medication that is used on, I thought that was for animals. Ketamine drug class. A dissociative anesthetic that has some hallucinogenic effects. Ketamine distorts, this is what the DEA says. Ketamine distorts the perception of sight and sound and makes the user feel disconnected and not in control. It is referred to as a dissociative anesthetic hallucinogen because it makes patients feel detached from their pain and environment. Ketamine can induce a state of sedation, feeling calm and relaxed, immobility, relief from pain, and amnesia, no memory of events while under the influence of the drug, and is abused for the dissociative sensations and hallucinogenic effects. Ketamine has also been used to facilitate sexual assault. Ketamine is an approved medical product as an injectable, short-acting anesthetic for use in humans and animals. Okay. And as a nasal spray for treatment of resistant depression. Street title for ketamine: Cat Tranquilizer, Cat Valium, Jet K, Kit Kat, Purple, Special K. I've heard that term before, Special K. Special La Coke, Super Acid, Super K, and Vitamin K. How is it abused? Injected, liquid, mixed with liquids. And it goes over the effects on the body. But mainly I wanted to see, isn't this just for animals? But it's used, it's approved to be used in humans and animals. And that's DEA.gov. I am just sickened.
Freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims.
Now, they say they found those recordings of the freak-offs during the raids on his homes in Miami and here in LA.
Which opens up a whole Pandora's box of who is in this. One of the things they are alleging, and this is the prostitution charge, which is that Diddy would bring male porn stars across state lines to participate in these freak-offs and essentially victimize, I mean, that's the way they're putting it, some of the women who were pressured to be part of this.
Yeah, the feds are alleging, Harvey, a full-scale criminal enterprise here. They say that Diddy was conspiring with many people, mostly his employees, to engage not just in drawing people out across state lines for the purpose of prostitution, forcible coercion of sexual acts, forced drugging and raping of women, guns, all sorts of crimes, and
Drugs.
it's all part of a criminal.
Drugs.
In
You heard that.
huge
You heard
quantities
Damian
of
Williams,
drugs.
the U.S. attorney, talk about these.
GHB, oxy, ketamine, which he
Yes.
mentioned, cocaine,
Huge quantities of
MDMA.
drugs.
I mean, just really, Charles, this 14 pages is
They
shocking.
packed a
It's
lot
shocking.
in those 14 pages, and it is now, Diddy's, we should say, his side. His attorneys have said that they're disappointed. I always find that weird when they say we're disappointed that they decided to pursue this. Well, of course you're disappointed they decided to pursue it. But in court today, Diddy did plead not guilty to all the charges, and his attorneys say he is innocent, and they're going to fight this in court.
So we actually got his lawyer going into court, and not only said he was not guilty, said he didn't do it.
He came here to surrender at a time agreeable to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and then they arrested him last night. I spent the evening with him. I was with him until about 1 o'clock. His spirits are good. He's confident. He is dealing with this head on, the way he's dealt with every challenge in his life. And he's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges. He's going to plead not guilty, obviously.
Anyway, that's pretty much, I guess, what I wanted to touch on with the P. Diddy thing, I guess. I can't stomach too much of this. I just cannot. Because it comes to a point where, and people may say, oh, you exist in a bubble, whatever. But I'm very careful about what I let into my spirit because, this stuff is very weighty. The wickedness that's going on, I want to do my part to help expose it, especially to people who look like me. Now, black folks, we know about P. Diddy for the most part. But I'm just saying, now it's getting ready to come out, and they're going to try to spin it like, oh, it's so sad what Puff Daddy is going through. I don't know of anybody that's going to feel sorry for him. Maybe his children. Bless their hearts. I feel for them because they have a bond and a connection to this man because that's their father. But it is just grievous. It's grievous to just hear about the stuff that this man has done. I can't imagine being a victim. I cannot imagine being victimized by this man. So, but that's all I'm going to say on this. I thank you all so much for stopping by my channel. And I hope that you would continue to watch and pray. I remember my daddy used to say that all the time. Watch and pray. Because that's biblical. And we are living in such crazy times that we have to watch your back, keep your head on a swivel, because you just never know what's going to jump off in the United States of America with all these newcomers over in here. Watch and be prayerful. Be in communication constantly with God. Constantly in communication with him. In a dialogue now. Both talking to him and listening. And the way you listen to God. Read his word. I'll go into that further also in another video. But if you didn't know, now you know. This is my shirt. Jesus is Lord to the glory of God the Father. I think the wickedness has hit such intense levels that they getting ready to make this man, the God man, crack the dang on sky. Because this stuff has got to be going up to heaven and stinking in the nostrils of God himself. I just can't fathom. After so much, I have to go in the corner and pray and ask the Lord to lift this stuff up off of me. Because you get so impressed upon by this world and all the junk that's going on. Anyway, y'all, like I was about to say, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Thank you so much for the people who like, comment, subscribe. I hope you all will do the same before you leave out. Do all those things, please, because that'll help propel me out into the algorithm. Um, when you subscribe, hit that bell notification so it goes from being an empty bell to being a solid bell. And that way you'll be notified every time I drop another video. I'm filming this one. I'm going to try to upload it today. September 19th, Thursday. It's 1:19 here where I live in the Midwest. 1:19 in the PM, that is. Y'all can see the sunshine behind me. I forgot to turn on my box light, but I don't really need it. I'm just rambling at this point, y'all. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Y'all take care of yourselves. Grace and peace.